Well, let's get more on that UBS story. On the news that a 31-year-old man, Kwaku Adebole, has been arrested in London on suspicion of fraud in connection with huge losses at the Swiss banking group UBS. The bank has warned that it could make a loss in the third quarter of this year now. Well, Chris Roebuck is a visiting professor with the Cass Business School in London and joins us now. Chris, thank you very much indeed for your time today. I think that the thing that will surprise people is that after all the banking scandals involving rogue traders, this can still happen to this degree.
I think it's going to surprise everybody, to be honest, because most people assume that after the financial crisis, particularly a pre-financial crisis with Leeson, the ability of an individual to get away with losing a bank so much money had been stopped. But the core problem with these institutions is that if for some reason a reasonably intelligent person deliberately seeks to find a way around the system, then they potentially can if they're using the system day to day.
I suppose questions have to be asked about why those controls don't work, but also why someone would want to do that, presumably because the rewards at the end of it, if they get it right, are so high.
It could be about the rewards, but it also could be a reflection of what happened to Nick Leeson, in that you make a trade, it all goes horribly wrong, you don't want to explain it to your boss, so you have another go to get it back, the double or quits game, and it just keeps going wrong and more wrong. So it could be that. Equally, it could be that someone has a technical challenge in terms of, can I beat the systems? Because the people that live in the world of the traders are effectively people who hunt, people who try and get the trades right, and these sort of challenges are the sort of things that they might find interesting.
Swiss taxpayers who had to help bail out UBS at the height of the financial crisis will now understand entirely what Vince Cable's talking about when he talks about casino banking, because this is sort of it, isn't it?
That's already existed, because UBS is a Swiss bank, it's traditionally conservative, its risk management reputation was one of the best in the world prior to the financial crisis, and the Swiss view investment banking even more sceptically than we do. They view private banking as proper banking. So even more than shareholders would be annoyed in this country, the shareholders in Zurich, Geneva and around Switzerland are going to be furious.
So how can we stop this, Chris? How do you put an end to it? What's missing in the system in terms of controls and spot checks that need to be implemented now?
The problem is that if you have any system that's based on computers and regulations, the more stuff that hits it, the more chance there is that something's going to get through. And the answer has to be that every employee in the bank knows what's right and what's wrong in terms of behaviour, and that's down to the culture that the leaders of the bank set, so that everybody knows what's right, what's wrong, and there is a moral compass where the things that do go wrong don't even start, because people don't start to do them in the first place.
Now, the banks were unhappy, weren't they, with the Vickers report this week about separating investment and retail banking, but this is another I suppose it's another iron in the fire of those who want to see that separation, because this is the kind of thing they want to stop.
To some degree, Vickers wouldn't have stopped this in any way, shape or form, because it still would have gone wrong. What Vickers would do would be, if this had been so bad, as in the Leeson case, that it brought the bank down and there was a retail arm, it wouldn't have gone across and actually contaminated that, so to speak. But let's be honest about this. These sort of things happen in retail banks as well, but the reason they don't get on the news channel is because the amounts are so small that nobody really notices in the greater scheme of things.
OK, well, it's fascinating. Thank you very much indeed for your time. Chris Roebuck from the Cass Business School. Thank you.
Thanks.